Hello, Rob from Fountain Pen Journey with a review of the Cross Bailey Light fountain pen. This is the grey version. There are a few other handful of other colours available, but I do quite like grey fountain pens. It's an understated colour. It goes with quite a lot of inks. It's suitable for business use, and I actually quite like grey. I know it's one of those things, some of the other pens in my collection are really quite outlandish, outrageous colours, things like that, but grey, I like it. So I bought this pen in 2020. It's a modern cross fountain pen, made in China. So, you know, getting away from Chinese fountain pens isn't exactly easy all of the time. And I thought, well, I'll give this pen a go. And I've been sort of surprised by it. It's how good it is, but also a little bit let down. I'll talk about that later on in the review. So let's go over the actual pen. Well, it's an all plastic fountain pen. We've got a metal sort of conical finial up here, very silver. There is a plastic finial up there, nothing on it, metal band which holds the clip with cross written on it. It's a nice arched clip, quite a functional clip. It's quite stiff. I wouldn't want to push this too far because then I am hearing creaking there. The actual cap, decent enough standard cap. This ring down here is actually quite nice. It's got this sort of, well, you can see it for yourself basically what it's got on there, and I actually quite like that. It's quite a nice feature. It just lifts the pen slightly. It's very much a cigar shaped pen. Barrel tapers down. There is another metal ring and this plastic end finial here. Uncapping pops off, and it is a pop off, it's not clicking on or anything like that. Pops off, and there is a cap liner in there which is good. Black plastic feed, medium steel nib, which I find actually writes really well. When we get onto the writing sample we'll talk more about that. Decently long section, tapers down, so you can do that, and there is this ring here, but there is no step up or anything like that, so you can really hold this pen anywhere you like, up and down. You can feel that, but it's not uncomfortable, so you've got a good ergonomic pen, and it's a really comfortable, nice size, not too big, but it is a nice size pen in the hand. Capping, posting rather, yep, post deeply, pretty securely, and it doesn't really add anything to the back weight of the pen either, so this is actually really quite a good pen for posting. So there is the pen. Unscrew the barrel, and in here, unfortunately, with all these bits of metal going on, this is not a pen which you can eyedropper, and even more unfortunately it takes cross proprietary cartridges or a converter, which kind of annoys me. This is the only cross pen I have, and I'm kind of limited now with using this cartridge and refilling it. Why am I not buying more cartridges or even a converter to go with this pen? Well, I'll talk about that in the writing sample which is coming up. This is quite a lightweight pen. I'll just give you the weights right now. Come on, zero that. Just there we go. That's much better. Try again. 20 grams. Unposted, or uncapped rather. 13.2, so it is a light pen. The Cross Bailey Light is indeed a light fountain pen. How does it measure up to something, say, like the Lamy Safari in size? Well, there you go, capped, identical. You know, there's nothing in that. Uncapped, pretty much the same length. Obviously it's a narrower, slimmer fountain pen than the Lamy Safari, so that is one thing to bear in mind. And if you did want to see these posted, which you may do, I shall do that as well. The Lamy Safari gains an extra centimetre and a bit, so very comparable to the Lamy Safari. So the Cross Bailey Light, I mean, overall I actually like the design of the pen. I like the colour, but the actual design of the pen, I think it's a good classic type of fountain pen. So just get my pad ready. Standard, industry standard Rhodia pad for writing samples. Very comfortable to hold. Plastic section matches the same, the cap and the barrel, which is good. Medium steel nib. Now, watch this writing sample fairly carefully, because I think something might happen. It's quite a stiff nib. You're not going to squeeze much more out of the nib than that. Decently wet, and it lays down ink like an absolute pro. I'm shaking the camera a bit here, but yeah, you can see there doesn't appear to be any issues whatsoever with the flow. I'm going to keep on writing while I talk, because scribbling away at least, because there has been several, in fact many occasions with this fountain pen, and I'm suspecting it's going to happen in this writing sample at some point. I mean, I think when you first uncap the pen and you write with it, it's absolutely great. There's no issues with the flow whatsoever, and it's really holding up now, which is typical. But I have had some massive flow issues with this pen. Now, this may be an isolated occurrence, but I found that even after a few lines of text, the ink flow just stops. Like, it just stops completely. Like, no ink comes out of the pen whatsoever. And at first I thought, you know what, maybe it's because I didn't flush the pen, something like that. But it didn't seem to be that. I carried on and carried on and carried on, and I've been using this for short note taking because it's a nice pen. Now, no issues on that page of writing with the flow. I mean, it would literally just stop, and I'd have to shake ink down into the feed, you know, like this. Try and get the ink to saturate the feed again so it would write. As you can see, it's writing perfectly now. So I was initially really quite put off with this pen. I know it's a cheap pen, I know it's, you know, nothing fancy, but I was expecting, if anything, the flow to maybe dry out a little bit when I was writing, but not stop altogether. And it stopped almost religiously every time I wrote 3 or 4 lines with this fountain pen. And I'm happy to say that it is actually behaving itself now. So maybe it just needed a little bit more time to settle in. There could have been some minor blockage in the feed which I hadn't managed to flush out, some manufacturing issue. Bearing in mind these are cheap fountain pens made in China. But altogether it seems to be absolutely fine. So as far as I'm concerned, these are good fountain pens. I mean, these medium nibs are really, really nice to write with. They're smooth, not had to think about adjusting this out of the box. So overall, it's a really, really nice fountain pen to write with. I like the design. It's a smallish pen relatively and a bit slim, but it's comfortable and it happens to now write very, very well. Like I say, available in different colours, fairly muted colours. I like this grey version. I think this could possibly be one of my favourite grey fountain pens at this price point, because it is quite a good looking pen. And there we have it, the Cross Bailey Light fountain pen. I'm not going to recommend it wholeheartedly because I did have those flow issues at the start, and once again it does take proprietary cross cartridges, which is always a bit of a bugbear of mine, but if you don't mind buying into that cross ecosystem of proprietary cartridges and you really like the look of this pen, then I'd recommend it. It's pretty good. So thanks very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye.